Liam Gógan was born in 1891 in Dublin into a family involved in both language revival and revolutionary politics. Liam, as only the second Irishman to have specialized in studies of Old Irish, graduated with first-class honors in Celtic Studies from University College Dublin in 1913. The same year, he joined the nationalist Irish Volunteers, which had members from the Gaelic League among them, but would resign in 1915. He lost his position as assistant keeper of antiquities in the National Museum when the question of the loyalty of civil servants was brought up after the 1916 uprising, and he was incarcerated in a prison camp for 2 months for not swearing an oath of allegiance, whereafter he worked as a teacher until he was reinstated in the Free Ireland of 1922 and stayed at the museum until he retired. He spent 4 years working on Deneen's Irish-English Dictionary, which are considered one of the most important resources for writers in Irish. Liam argued that the vernacular Irish in the Gaeltachts was a diminished form held back by the English oppressor and not expressive enough to be of sufficient use in a more complex world compared to the traditional Irish texts, and he did not accept the modern-spoken Irish as the only true base for new poetry, and he was also against the use of loanwords. His use of traditional Irish, paired together with the continental arts, both classical and modern, attracted criticism, where he was thought too complicated for the common man and really not very genuine. The introduction of the sonnet to Irish literature is one example. Despite the criticism, he was, at least for a while, the leading poet of Ireland. I shall now read the poem Tessets. In the room where the bouquet was laid, not a flower of them that did not fade. The roses, taut perfume, has stayed. I rejoiced but could not hide. The sorrow spread like a seed, to find that not one rose had stayed. And into memory there strayed once more the yellow-haired young maid, from days when streams of rosé flowed, until into the dark she fled, and left me shaking at the red of all those roses long since dead. And all the lights of youth put out down all the years since first I met amid sweet roses this sweet maid. The core of his poems is the disillusioned Republican of an island that did not turn out as expected. Tension of religion and desire and the volatile beauty of the world, often linking it to the beauty of women, with the focus of its decline, and repressed sexuality, something that became more apparent after the death of his wife.